Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Star Wars 3. It was about to say XCOM, even though it's been ages. Anyway, the war is over. The riots on Earth and several of the colonies are quelled by now, but the situation is still heated. In most cities and settlements of the new empire, of the empire even, pardon the former old empire, a the curfew has been installed. The police reports that control points are now set up in key areas, and the airspace's parking orbits of inhabited planets are completely under control. Currently, a crisis committee composed of the lower houses of Parliament took the authority on Earth. According to the information we have, all Imperial Lords, members of the affluent aristocratic families on Azur's viceroys have left Earth and other systems, either going to hiding or to fly in open space. Many of them owned the largest industrial and financial installations, the assets of which are now being transferred into unknown accounts, and the database information erased. The audit board, appointed by the Crisis Committee, found out that the Imperial Treasury was likewise being robbed, and a large amount of valuables from the Imperial Museum and the Strategic Reserves Fund cargo have also been taken out by unknown transports. Even the most cursory approximation shows that these actions have dealt the greatest damage to the Empire's economy and for its entire history. As we cannot currently restore communications sabotaged by the previous fleet command, the Crisis Committee asked our agency to transfer a message to the MSF units serving the outer world. The message is as follows, quote, Fleet officers and space marines, the war is over, and the Crisis Committee has, as the legal successor of the old Imperial power, has entered a peace and disarmament talks with the new empire. In the nearest times, the MSF would be in the nearest times. Okay. The MSF would be disbanded, and all servicemen not implicated with war crimes will be able to continue the service in the NESF, retire, or serve the system's patrols. The Crisis Committee asks you, on behalf of the people of the Empire, not to enter confrontations with the NESF, but instead help system patrols and struggles with pirates and criminal elements. The new chiefs of the central and regional staff would be shortly appointed to the positions. Soldiers and officers, you have done your duty to the very end, and the people of the Empire are proud of you. But the time has come to end the bloodshed. Quote complete. IGNA, your most authoritative news source. Security is a personal matter. The company Borge Hauler Inc., dealing in passenger transport, announced they intend to hire permanent company ship escort duties for the mercenary unit Cutthroats, which would guard ships travelling between neutral and imperial worlds. As the numbers provided by Barge Hauler Incorporated show, over 15.5 thousand men travelling daily through just two of their busiest routes. The necessity for additional escort by well-equipped mercenary units arose due to the extreme lack of patrol servicemen in the several worlds. Official address from Empress Astra. I, Empress Astra Reynolds, near Dreher, the lawful successor to the title of Empress of Earth and the Outer Worlds, proclaim the civil war finished and legitimate power that was for so long usurped by Azur IV restored. We have won. The price of victory was great. The losses many cannot be replaced. Overcoming the hostility to those people who were our enemy would not have been easy, but we have to make this step and extend our hand to those who were on the other side of the barricades. We overcame our inner contradictions. else the victory was in vain, and in a short while the flames of a new war would consume space once again. We should not allow this to come to pass. We have no right to allow the criminals and political adventurers to take advantage of our feuds and break the empire into appendage princehoods. Our violence and lawlessness shall rule. Where violence and lawlessness shall rule. I speak to the officers, the ordinary NESF pilots, and the soldiers and commanders of the Space Marine Expeditionary Corps. The war is over, and we shall now build new relations with the people who saw us as targets. They had to. Such were are their orders, and such was the propaganda. However, we must not forget that we and our former enemies had the same goal, order and safety, of the common citizen, fighting pirates and criminals. Thus, we have a common goal for further constructive talks. I ask you not to see all MSF servicemen and Space Marines or Space Marines of the old Empire as your sworn enemies. Only those who threaten your lives, or the lives of your citizens. I ask you not to provoke conflicts, not to boast your superiority over them, over the losing side, not to insult their honour and self-esteem, but to act decisively and remain firm to your duty. The war is over, but the peace is still fragile. You were the voice of the new empire. Stay tuned. Blood for shelter. Due to the difficult situation in the front lines, the NESF commander and the new government have initiated a program of blood for shelter. Each volunteer who gives 2 units of donor blood can freely move with his family from his current system to any inner system of the new empire, or a monthly food provision for 3 men. The program is aimed first of all to the inhabitants of systems where the fights are raging and the blood reserves are critically low. The escort for convoys with donor passengers would be done by the NESF, and even as the people would be transported by the military ships. A small inconvenience is better than staying in the war zone. The program chiefs assure the program chief assures. You're the voice in the Empire. Stay tuned. Okay, interesting. Peace. Wait, what? Non-peaceful peace. Today, a group of Crisis Committee parliamentarians left Earth for Lenore to sign a copulation and entering a peace talks of the new empire. Wait, what? Whatever. This news brings only joy, but we'd like to know when law and order will finally arrive in neutral systems. Right now, we're receiving a message of a brutal fight in the Sagittarius sector between 2 triadic clans. The details are not clear, but rumour has it that Mini Mew was attacked while travelling with escorts to Candila from Il Arish, where his negotiations with the NESF and USS broke down. If the attacker sent the old bastards to his grave, all the better. However, if Amir was the victor, the systems bordering the Triada should expect a wave of violence and theft. Also, the border sector remains a source of reports about new berserk attacks. It's unclear how much damage will be done by the tin cans, but the evacuation of citizens from X-297 is almost finished. Our agency continues to carefully track the news, but it honestly doesn't seem like the universe has found peace. We haven't heard such a fierce cannonades even during the hottest days of the war. Capricorn on fire. The news agency Studio 66 would like to address all inhabitants of the war zone systems. If you decide to seek shelter in the Capricorn or Aquarius sectors, do not. We repeat, do not plan your route through the debris or Alorishad systems. Also avoid entering Cadi and Preen systems, where the berserks have been spotted by unverified reports. The safest systems include the Phoenix sector systems excluding Muscovy and Fort Rus. Right now, the NESF forces fully control Shula, Tira, Krino, Aurora systems. And as for the new empire, representatives told our agency civilian ships wishing to enter the Phoenix sector would not only be freely let into the military, but also offered escorts if possible. Additional escorts are also offered to the neutral systems patrols. Right now, the systems are having worlds suitable for life. Started installing temporary refugee camps, but the orbital station's administration urges not to stay away for long on board. The life support systems of many stations are already strained to their limits. Border guards report SOS. Hello, Mercenary Brotherhood. You've already heard that the new and old empires have finally decided to end their quarrel with peace, but that doesn't mean that time has come to cover your guns and missiles and sell your fighters for scrap metal. Appears that business in the border sectors is pretty bad. The Berserk swarmed like a dumb, brainless avalanche, threatening to destroy all in its way. We have not a clue if Elle found a way to... Elle found a way out of the hyperspace hole she was forced into, or if the tin cans just multiplied so much that they're feeling cramped in a single system. In any case, brothers, fire up the boilers on your buckets and dart at full speed to X297. The thick skulls won't touch you, though I expect some troubles from the automated defences. We can't allow that berserk plague to break into the greater space. If there are just dumb if they are just dumb tin cans, there will be a piece of cake. But if Al's behind it, we must force her back into hell. Anyway, off we go, I guess. Hopefully, maybe, hopefully, maybe. Maybe. Ah, there. Everyone ready? Oh, everyone ready? Here's the plan. I jump to New Kyoto first, and then you wait for the catapult to recharge at... No, patron. We should go first. The Starwolf has a few additional capabilities. Besides, the leader of my team is an FTO member. Oh no. He's completely trustworthy. So, we might be able to approach the station unnoticed. Even if they detect us, we'll try and talk our way out. While you are pulling in... While you will be pulling in. This sounds logical. Forget about logic. Please, patron, don't argue with us. This is the best way. Corsair, the lieutenant is right. If the Greys are alerted, they'll kill us one by one, with the catapult throwing our ships in queue. I know. Alright, Astra, you go first, but don't push your luck before we arrive. That's an order, got it? Yes, patron. Countdown started. Partner, you wanted to know how that thingamajig looked, so here you go. Big, round, with two... That sounds erotic. Perhaps it does. But you still can't assemble the word luck without the words S-H-I-T. Wait, what? What? Okay, I don't get that. Sure. Of all people, your team should be the last to complain. It's just stupid to be afraid of the Greys after what you've been through. Anyway, off we go. I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm being mildly railroaded across this. Not given much of a choice, just catapulted everywhere. Now, we must approach the enemy station unnoticed and occupy the Conon of vantage. In other words, lie in ambush and remain quiet, right? Right. If Greys decide to attack us when Corsair and allies arrive, we'll interfere. I hope it'll be an unpleasant surprise for the Greys. Senorita, I prefer talking to shooting. Le palabra el mayor arma. Major arma? Okay. So would I. But we have to provide for the vast course of events. Corsair wouldn't tolerate grey activities, and they will hardly surrender without a fight. Oh, okay. Just basically waltz over to them. Sure, why not? Why not just waltz over to them, I guess? Well, let's get us out. Che and Grey Hair, you just follow the wolf. Kadim, Treni, and Alexandra, you follow in my wing. Also, we now get to have a look at this ship. It's rather cool. The Dragon is positioned as an affordable alternative to the extremely expensive and complex Wyvern. This fighter is less durable, slower, and less maneuverable than Anoko's flagship, but the developers have tried to make up for this by installing 4 heavy guns at once. A Dragon will hardly win against a Wyvern in a dogfight, but it remains an excellent, nearby, unsurpassed combat vessel. Today, these ships are in mass production with the new Empire fleet and Anoko security. I wouldn't be so sure. 1 minute, I'm curious. 1,200? 1,200? 1,300? Yeah, it's not far off. The armor's nowhere near as durable and is quite considerably slower. Okay, yeah, it's not great. But alas, what can you do? This is a really weird looking fighter though. Just 2 massive engines strapped to the side of like a cockpit, and yeah, it's weird looking. Anyway, into the fire as we go, I guess. Don't bother hiding, we've detected you. Hey Alex! I'm not sure I'm glad to see you here. You? Friend? My life's surprising at times. Isn't it? Damn right. What a sweet conversation. If I knew that Greys were your friends, I would have been more cautious about letting you into this operation. Friends? Those bastards kidnapped and got me loaded with drugs in some back end of Beyond. Those friends are so dead. Boss, this is becoming tense. Treni, Alexandra, wait. Haste makes waste. Alex, don't you want to explain anything to me, starting from the beginning? Who are you? I thought we all knew you well, but now I see that my information was kind of outdated. This will take time. Don't worry. I have it now, Grey Hair. Do we have time? I have it now. Grey Hair, do we have time? All the time in the world, boss. No one, since the Big... No one since the Big Bang has ever had so much time as we do have now. I'm the same Alex Koshovi you had travelled around the outer worlds with before you decided to change a cockpit to an office in the same ball of dust. But I'm not into trade anymore. I lead an organisation that protects traders both legally and physically. The former is provided by the FTU, the latter is carried out by the combat fleet, Grey fighters you've already encountered. Before you ask, no. I have nothing to do whatsoever with Trini's abduction or kidnap incident with your convoy. Or the incident with your convoy. What do you have to do with it then? Why do I get to know about your hobby of assembling combat fleets only now? Don't be sarcastic. You're not good at all. You're not too good at it. As for the organization and fleets, for how long have you been in space? For about 3 years, am I right? It has changed a lot. Berserks, aliens, had given the Outer Worlds a hard time, but the real troubles started along with the cursed Civil War. Turned out there was too many weaponry around, and enough people eager to use it. Power brokers had no resources to provide safety for traders. We pestered imperial bureaucrats, corporation directors. We told them that the outer world would cease to exist if we didn't establish reliable trade routes. Many systems were on the brink already, without necessary resources and equipment. Bureaucrats agreed, but held up hands as if they were doing their best already. I guess only Inoco's CEO, Oliver Reynolds, had patrolmen promised to actually help us, but Reynolds was bound by the board of directors. While most patrolmen were poor as cargo bay rats, so we had to equip the fleet meant to protect the traders and fight pirates all by ourselves. But why do it all secretly? You weren't doing anything wrong, were you? You see, the FTU only had money for a few up-to-date fighters. It would have been unreal to collect the unnecessary funds by amassing union taxes. As most traders live by contracts and spend spare money on repairs and maintenance, so we had to infiltrate the imperial government's corporation managements to organize a small but steady leak of funds and equipment. After all, if governments don't care about the ordinary people, let them at least pay those who do. Many a little makes a fighter. I'm sure that neither Corsair nor Asha would have refused to provide you with equipment. Save your aridness for better days. We've repeatedly offered to launch a large-scale campaign against the pirates, at least in the New Empire, and each time we got the gate from your bureaucrats. The fleet has no manpower for such campaigns. You know that. Yeah, that's what they told us the same. We had no money. While they were citing what they hadn't, pirates were killing traders in corporation space, in the space of the NESF and the MSF. Or should we have turned our backs on that and waited until we finished paying for your war? Alex, who kidnapped Trini? Harry Crader. He was one of the FTU founders and coordinated the Capricorn sector. But then, you see, we completely forgot about one thing. The level we operated on was not allowed to access to somebody else's funds, but also gave us real power to those who controlled the agents. Just one order, they will have left their workplaces. Oh, sorry. And destroyed all data, compromising the management chains and document circulation. No empire or corporation would pick up such a blow. Most likely, Kaler considered that the chance to establish his own empire or something. When we got to know that, it was already too late. As a result, we lost our agents in the Capricorn sector, Centaur and Sagittarius sectors. But worst of all was that Kraler befriended Mini Mew, the current Triada leader, and Kane, USS top manager. It seems Emperor Azure joined their gang as well. Who knows what that alliance is capable of? My, you sure had so many nice people around you recently. I could even feel envious. I wish I knew all this before. I'd apply for a job. I'd hope you'd know what's happened to my pilots. I'm very sorry. Your pilots are dead. They were shot down by Manimiu's goons. They were also murdered by my investigators. They also murdered my investigators. We had a force nearby, nearly all agents to work like mad, but we found the cargo. It was stored in the FTU headquarters in New Kyoto. And this is our very problem. Neurochips, devices meant to connect people to the unified network. And, as you have probably guessed already, control them. The idea belongs to Inoko's new artificial intelligence, or SAM, Advanced Artificial Personality, as they call it. This time, Inoko already exerted themselves, and SAM turned out to be more powerful than any previous models, but unfortunately is mad. It wants to build a society for the future, using us as the building blocks, and naturally, it's ready for certain sacrifices. If some don't agree, my hacker friend has got the information that the recent months Sam has been secretly, but nonetheless actively, building a whole berserk fleet, and it's ready to attack at any moment. I believe at this moment I have burst into tears and hug you, promising to give my life to foil somebody else's evil plans. Alex, don't you think that you've been hiding too much from me? I've got to know about the cargo and its fate not long ago. As for Sam's plans, the actual cargo contents, I've got to know it's just an hour ago when Cleric, that hacker, broke into Sam's database. Cleric? So, that petty bastard is here. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt your story involving conspiracy, scary computers, and other horrors. I have to admit, Inoko makes a great gadget. I couldn't even hope for a hypercom allowing us to eavesdrop within radius of several systems. I'm sorry, my throat. I can't be arsed doing his voice anymore. Is that it? Or should we expect more guests? Oh, you definitely should. You have many, many admirers these days. Not everyone will arrive, of course, but some will surely come here to listen to how you've come up with the power by robbing both empires and corporations. Take Admiral Trump, for example. He should arrive just about now. Thump. I agree with Corsair. These high-tech communication devices provide wonderful recon capabilities. Admiral, what do you think about the conversation with the Grey friend? Well, I can say we blew it. I mean the old and new empires. It's not about overlooking an organization that we have managed to infiltrate our institutes, but it's been incapable of protecting our trade routes. That is true. It is also true that our inertness costs civilians dear. It may cost It may cost even dearer. It may cost even dearer, okay, if we continue to ignore the obvious facts and butcher each other. In fact, and by fact you mean that bogeyman story? In which Inoko is the evil demon striving to devour the entire humanity. Not Inoko, but Sam, Triada, or rather, the alliance of Emu, Kane, and Azure. I cannot disregard too. If they join Imperial funds with the MSF manufacturing capabilities, they will build a fleet capable of crushing any resistance, and MU will provide it with a crew crew hired from pirates. Man, aren't you a smooth talker? I'm spellbound. But let's ask people who have a little more direct interest in it. Did you bring Taya the goons here? Dun dun dun. Surprise, surprise. I told you there would be more guests. That's something new. Why do you think that Triada is a problem? Aside from things I've already mentioned, they supply pirates with guns and missions and launder their money. I think that's enough. You know what, friend? Stay away from Triada and don't lump the blame on a single bastard into the whole corporation. If you need someone's skin on your fighter's fuselage, it would be Emu's skin only. I will even help you get it, but do not even think about touching Triada. What will you charge, Aja? Will your men suddenly become goody-goody? My father prepared them to trap Emu. Prepared a trap for Emu, but had no time to catch him. I swear that I will help you in dealing with the bastard. Any pirate triada pilots. Oh my goodness, that's like a tongue twister almost. Any pirate triada pilots will see that there is no good as will be as good as dead. We see will be as good as dead. Right, okay. Typo again. I heard about Kim Shumov and goals he had tried to achieve. The FTU has nothing against that kind of triada. If the corporation can find that way, of course. Hey you, and the Grey Fighter. Aren't you forgetting something? You're still a gunpine. It doesn't matter much what FTU has or hasn't. What are you going to do about the future for yourselves, may I wonder? Same old. We will transfer our combat fleets to system patrols and withdraw our people from your management structures. The FTU will go on as an organization, acting within the law, of course. Oh, hi! More ships. Hi, Sam and your manticore. Are you insane? You brought that tin can along? Greetings, Sam. The artificial intelligence of the third generation is at your service. Sam, tell us something. Is it true that you're going to pull that chip on everyone's head and rule us as you please? Your assumption is wrong. My entire software architecture is based on the principles of eliminating any harm to humanity. An attempt to change this imperative would result in my death. I was created only as a tool for effective resource management, humans included. According to my analysis, intervention in an individual's mind and imposing a certain behavioral model only reduces his or her effectiveness. By the way, Oliver said the same about his Empress. When she started to worry about Anoko creating new artificial intelligence, finally, Sam, the latest, most important question. How much might neurochip technology cost? The potential benefits of neurochip technology are impossible to estimate accurately. The technology starts a new era of controlling databases, machines, and data, but the profit will be used in neural interfaces and industries for a single year, may cover the total revenue for all inhabited systems for 10 years. I'll be damned if I believe a word of this. I cannot lie. This is against my imperatives. So, Admiral, dear guests, what do you have? What do we have? The words of a machine that has never lied yet, or the words of a man who's created a secret organization, stolen from both empires and corporations, and got his hands on the technology promised by an enormous fortune. And he's doing so also to stall for time, while his fleet is approaching our location. Do what you please, but I'm not trusting any of his words. Though I can offer a compromise, Alex. You give us the stolen technology back and surrender peacefully. Quite an offer. But my astrology charts don't recommend me doing that. Then we have nothing to talk about.
Yeah,
gonna go with number 3. Wait a second, don't push me. Sam, you haven't yet explained those new trips, how those new trips operate, and how data would be communicated. Besides, I am eager to know how, if they have anything to do with the berserk hordes in the border worlds. Your ships look very much alike. You're right! I've completely forgotten about the cursed tin cans. Berserks? Berserks? What's it about, Sam? You haven't mentioned them. You never asked. The aforementioned fleet is currently exclusively for the protection, and it is currently under my complete control. Unfortunately, the previous blocked algorithms prevented me from controlling the fleet, which resulted in a sad incident in the border sectors. Well, that's something new. Why did you need to assemble those tin cans at all? Unlike the loss of pilots, the loss of machine is easily compensated. Initially, it was planned to give fleet ships to the Allies, but they expressed an irrational disapproval to the idea to use berserks in combat operations. What about those neurochips? We plan to implant them in volunteers and individuals whose skills are vital to the success of humanity's evolution, but not in everyone, as your opponent claims. The plan for humanity's evolution? Boss, I've heard such things. My fingers are starting to urge to open fire at once. Please refrain from hostile actions. The plan for human evolution created by Future Projects Department will allow the reorganization of human society, maximizing its structural efficiency, and end the ongoing civil war, eliminate reasons for future wars, and eradicate crimes and start a new era. A plan for evolution, you say? For the good of humanity? Huh. Very interesting. Tell me, friend, what kind of protection is Oliver Reynolds under? Is his security the only reason you got to him to be well guarded? Oliver Reynolds is accused of destroying the data vital for the plan of humanity's evolution. Thus, he has been locked up. And they say machines don't lie. I cannot lie. But you can't replace certain words with other words. Anoko did truly a great job in creating you. Alex, peace, people. I was wrong, but let's talk about this later. Now we really need to dismantle that tin can. You are making a huge mistake. I am forced to activate additional means of protection. By space! Where were they hiding? Well, that's a lot. Super Chimera, Super Chimera, Super Chimera. Just all the Super Chimeras, it seems. NESF, Warpen. I guess everyone attacked the manticore first. Well, the wolf deals with that first fleet. Activate aim, fire, and boost. You activate coup de grande, aim, fire, or not burst, I mean. That, and that. Oh, hey! Hi! Every ship ever. We'll find out later. We now need to defend the station. Oh god, that's a lot of fire we're eating up over here. Oh. Alexandra, where are you? Where are you? I said with a V. Because I don't know. Take out the manticore ASAP. Oh my god, just so much fire flinging everywhere. Uh-oh. Someone's fallen. Admiral Trump. You need to be fixed up. Oh my goodness, there's more spawning in. This is mental. Well, reactivate that again. We'll continue doing what we can. You're making a mistake. My imperatives imply the top priority desire of the well-being of the human race in general, the development of every individual. My objectives are not hostile. They will let people unite and achieve a common goals such as consolidation. Such consolidation is inevitable. Your destructive actions will only delay it for another period of wars and bloodshed. I think I've heard this before. Got it. I've disabled its defenses. They're not getting away now. Good work, Cleric. Ah, my god, so much lag. No, seriously, this is mental, the amount of lag that's coming out of this. Oh hey, a berserk fan. Firen. Never heard of that yet. This heavy berserk fighter is good and comfortable, but looks like a WC. How should you fly such a ship? What? Okay, sure. That's such a weird way. That's a weird way of explaining it. This ship looks like a toilet. How would you fly it? What? Come on, finish it off. Boss, the conductor is off. Stage, and the orchestra is shut down. It's time to put an end to this. Oh my goodness, okay. That's it. We did all we had to. We still have a frickin' amount of work before us. As ill luck would have it, all bureaucratic babble and paperwork. I prefer to fire guns instead. I don't agree. I prefer to solve problems peacefully. Ah, come on. I'm not against peace too, but the way, Admiral, I got a message from Palace that your intermi committee declared an armistice on the MSF side and offered the Empress to start peace talks. I wonder, how can you spread the news among the brave soldiers? What? We can't drink to the victory? If it isn't a fully fledged tyranny. What? What? Can't we drink to the victory? If it isn't fully fledged tyranny? What do you expect? The Emperor is dead, long live the Emperor. Empire, I mean, get aboard my ship, everyone. It would be rude not to raise a glass or two in victory. By all the more, have some good stuff. If you have what I think you have, then it would be better. Then it would be better if San killed us on the spot. Aren't you forgetting about anything? Sam could have a backups in servers on identities. I wouldn't be surprised if that backup berserks were hidden somewhere. We'll find them if we need to. We should cross the bridges when we come to them. And right now, we've come to a party.
It is amazing how a greater threat can unite even the most ferocious of enemies. Compared with Sam and the Berserker army it had created, our differences look like a pathetic squabble between siblings. Sitting there in the mess hall, we enjoyed the incredible camaraderie which had arisen between us. We may once have been enemies, but now we are not only allies, but friends.
Bump dump dump bump ba da da bump dump dump bump ba da da bump dump dump bump ba da da.
Corsair was right. We had much work to do. It was a tremendous effort to persuade the resisting MSF troops to surrender. The Empress promised that any soldier of the old Empire who had not committed crimes against civilians would not be condemned for following the Tsar's orders, and she kept her word. Triada surprised us most. Their new leader, Ajia Shumova, purged the clans of Min-Emu's stooges and did away with those who exploited these times of trouble by stooping to slave trading and piracy. But Triada did not choose the path of righteousness, and every instance of fraud or theft somehow found its way into the warehouses or accounts of the corporation. Nevertheless, the pirates, mercenaries, and slave traders still preferred dying in space to being captured by Triada. Alex became engrossed in politics, following all legal means to fight for traders' rights and privileges. The fleet of Navy fighters was handed over to patrols. Oliver Reynolds, reinstated as the CEO of Inoco, made sure the patrols were always equipped with state-of-the-art weaponry and had access to depots full of ammo. But space was still a dangerous place. Apart from the border sector, we found a few more systems dominated by berserkers, and there were enough stray tin cans and pirates around to keep our team in business. In fact, their number had increased over the course of the war. We took the most dangerous missions, delivering cargo so that people could regain confidence and protect themselves.
Another one! Hey, Curdy, what's the score?
You'll never beat my record, you clumsy old...
Peace and order were gradually returning to the universe, until one day...
Almighty space, what is that? Berserkers! Retreat! Retreat immediately! Mayday! Mayday! Being attacked by berserkers! I repeat, the convoy is under attack!
Until one day, humanity faced an army of symbionts.
And I guess that's the end. So yeah, that was Star Wars 3. It ended rather abruptly and we kind of got railroaded at the end, but yeah. I actually enjoyed that, especially like the ending where, I had to laugh a little bit at the very end there. Oh, you'll never beat my score, you clumsy oaf! Oh, but anyway, I'm going to leave it there, so until next time, all the best, and I hope you enjoyed this playthrough of Star Wars 3. I liked it. It seemed a little more professional, and there was a lot more branching paths, and you didn't really know what was going to happen, if the people were actually going to stay with you or not. Which could make things a bit awkward, but at the same time. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, so until next time, all the best, and I hope you enjoyed.